Well, it is official. Spotify sucks now. And it's a shame. I used to support this company financially when I could barely afford to support myself financially since 2015. And it has gone somehow downhill despite being the number one player in the music industry for so long. But you know what the really weird part about all of this is? It's that they seemingly don't even care about their company going under. There have been so many people that have complained about features missing, and yet they just continue to provide updates on things that mean absolutely nothing at all for the platform. For example, the other day they released this feature that's supposed to be like some AI fortune teller type of feature where you spend 30 seconds watching a fancy animation after entering in something, which, by the way, you can't even enter in manually. You have to choose from a preset option. And then after a whole big animation, they recommend you some random song, just a single random song. I mean, let's put aside the fact that they, for some reason, prioritized working on this rather than anything else that could have been useful. They could have, for example, integrated maybe some sort of actual AI system that really recommended like a playlist or a number of songs based on something you could actually enter. But they just went down the route of making something that looks completely useless and doesn't even use real AI under the hood probably to do anything meaningful. I mean, I don't know which product manager is sitting there and they're like, you know what we really need to add to the platform? We need to add this random one-use feature that is going to show up anytime someone opens the app for the first time, and it is going to completely just waste their time and recommend a random song. And instead of focusing on any of the bugs, we really need to push this out. And even if you don't care about any of that stuff, the time wasted, not focusing on proper features, the feature that they added, like with all the innovations AI has given us in the past year and a half, that was the best they could do with like this enter in a random prompt to get a random song. Like, I feel like you could have at least allowed people to enter a real prompt and actually done some real AI generation to get an actual playlist back instead of just one random song. It's just so mind-blowing to me that things like this are happening at a company that's supposed to be the market leader at what they do. And you don't have to take my word for it. It has been a hot topic on TikTok for over a month now. I made a video in February talking about how Spotify has just been on the decline, and it was just like a minute and a half long rant that now has 1.1 million views and literally over 3,600 comments of people talking about how much they hate Spotify and how all of them have been moving over. And in this video, I point out some of the most basic issues with the platform. Issues like not everyone can hide a song from showing up in song radios or playlists over and over again. Even if I were to come here and go to like some song, some random song, and I go ahead and try to hide it, some people in the comments said that they have a feature that allows them to hide it, but there is no such thing. I could remove it from my liked songs, but if I were to just randomly go to some random song that I don't have liked and try to get it so that it stops showing up in recommendations and stops showing up in song radios, it is literally just impossible. Whereas another platform like YouTube Music, it is one of the most basic features to downvote a song. And I have never been in a situation where I downvoted a song or disliked a song and it kept showing up in playlists. It's such a simple feature. Another really simple feature that they could have probably fixed years ago was the sound radio. Let's say I'm listening to a song and I want to go to the song radio for it. Well, you have to, if you want to listen to the song radio, replay that song or choose a different song, when there should just be a way to start listening to the song radio or add every other song from the song radio to the next songs that you are going to listen to, aka just add it to the queue. And it's just small things like this that really make me feel like the people working at Spotify just don't use the platform. I feel like every time I've ever been a developer for a product that I have created and I was a user of that product, all these small little quality of life things were sort of high priority, because if I'm feeling these issues, then you better believe that other users are probably feeling them as well. Now, another piece of low-hanging fruit is the fact that they know everyone loves Spotify Wrap. I don't know about you guys, but when it is the end of the year, I get tons of screenshots sent to me. I see a ton of them online of people posting their Spotify Wrap summaries. They have a ton of cool stats about your listening history, and they could do so much cool things with this. But instead, all they have is a half-hearted profile page where you can see your top tracks this month and the top artists you've listened to this month. And it provides almost nothing compared to the data they actually have. And that's where a third-party program like StatsFM comes in. For example, I was able to connect my Spotify account and I was able to get a ton of information of my lifetime listening history since 2015. But there is a caveat. The actual API for Spotify only goes back a couple of months or maybe a year or something like that. And if you want your lifetime history, you actually have to email Spotify and wait around 6 weeks for them to send you a CSV of your own data to you. And then from there, you can import it into a third-party website like StatsFM to get all your listening histories and everything you've done. And I have listened to Spotify since 2015, and I can honestly say if they added any kind of real analytics, I'd love to know how much time I've spent listening to a single song. What are my top songs of like my lifetime listening to Spotify? What time do I normally listen to a song? How many times have I listened to certain albums? I know there's a whole bunch of music nerds out there that would love features like that, yet they just don't invest in it. And like I said, I don't know who is prioritizing features for them, but they are so out of touch with their users. And speaking of features that could have made it big, they added the DJ feature a little over a year ago, and initially I really liked it. Every time I played it, it would say something like, "Hey Anthony, DJ X here," and it would play random songs, which I sort of enjoyed because it felt new and refreshing. But for some reason, they just stopped improving on it whatsoever. It would be so easy to add something like you enter in a vibe or a mood and it plays songs based on that vibe or mood. But instead, it just cycles between completely random things. Sometimes it'll pull songs from your history a year ago. Sometimes it'll pull songs from what the top people in Canada are listening to. And quite frankly, I don't really want to listen to Justin Bieber or Taylor Swift or whatever everyone else in Canada is listening to. I want to be able to get this AI to recommend me songs based on some prompt that I give it. Maybe I'm really into 2000s R&B and I want it to put together some like club playlist just for how I'm feeling right now. And they just completely missed the mark on that. They didn't invest anything into building on top of it. And it's really just sad that they get so close with some features like song radios and the DJ and then just completely forget about it and stop shipping any quality of life features to it whatsoever. And honestly, if I worked at Spotify, I would be pretty scared. They went from dominating the market to having so many different competitors at more affordable prices that it's kind of crazy. I mean, in the last 2 months, I've been using YouTube Music, and honestly, YouTube Music is nothing special, but it's included in YouTube Premium, which I already have, which makes it a lot cheaper than Spotify's ever-rising prices. And the features like the song radio actually gives me songs related to what I'm looking for instead of the same 14 songs I've played over the last month over and over and over again. Not to mention the fact that there's so many other competitors like Tidal out there that are doing the same thing as Spotify, but they are hungrier and they actually want new customers more than Spotify wants to keep their existing customers. And I ended up actually canceling my Spotify membership after almost 8 years of being a premium listener. And the funniest part is on that cancellation screen, I wish I saved a screenshot. They were like, if you cancel, here's what life's gonna be like. You're gonna experience this many ads. You're not going to be able to save your songs and listen to them offline. And they make it sound like their free plan isn't even a plan to begin with. It's sort of just like an incentive to be as bad as possible so people subscribe. Yet other platforms have way more bearable plans that are free and just better than Spotify. So it almost makes no sense anymore. I really hope I'm not the only one that thinks Spotify has gone completely downhill in the last couple of years. And if you feel the same way, maybe leave a comment about what you wish they would change. Maybe some Spotify employee will actually watch this video, take it to one of their team meetings, and maybe try to push in the right direction instead of continually releasing random features. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.